For me, it was remembering the fragility of life that made me realize there was no, exactly what you say, like, who is this self-censorship helping?
Right.
Maybe I'm protecting myself from a little bit of hurt out in the world, but is that really more painful than not living as myself at all, or not taking any risks whatsoever because I'm so afraid? No, I didn't want to live like that.
Right.
For me, such a big turning point was, I mean, I talked about this on Drag Race and in my book, but facing an eating disorder. And I think how that hiding of the self became tied to something I was literally doing to my body, trying to disappear, trying not to take up space or be heard or seen, which ultimately just kind of drew more attention, but a very negative kind. And then when my mom realized that she was going to pass away within a couple years, it was just such a shock. Life is so fragile, and everyone deserves to take whatever amount of life we get and have autonomy and freedom and write a story for ourselves that makes sense. My mom started traveling, and she dyed her hair, and she cut it really short, and she tried all these things she had talked about for so long. And I felt like, oh, I should do the same. I should learn from my hero and live a bolder life myself. And for me, that meant getting into drag. This thing I had thought I had invented as a little kid and slowly discovered there was more of out there in the world, thank God. Because what I had invented was hideous, and the reference points really taught me a lot for what I could be doing.
Amen for a reference.
Yes. There's like 3 for me that I want to share.
Yeah.
One was watching all of John Waters' movies.
Oh my God. Yes.
And another, just seeing that, like, everything I felt I should feel shame about myself, there was like celebration as a source of pride in those movies, and a kind of like, fuck the system, punk, like,
of course.
Who cares what people are going to say? Let's embrace being disgusting by someone's standards. Like, it's gorgeous by ours. And that like blew my mind. I had never seen anyone approach it like that. I wanted to be more like that. And then, I said 3, but I can only think of 2 right now. The other is reading Sylvia Rivera's account of the Stonewall Uprising. There's like a 3-page essay in Leslie Feinberg's book, Transliberation. And I went to Blue Stockings in New York. It's my bookstore, radical bookstore, and bought this book that just said like trans in really huge letters on the spine. So we all know what that's about. I'd be like, this is speaking to me. I really knew nothing at that time. And that story of like, she really explicitly says drag queens started the Stonewall Uprising. This group that had fought for every civil rights organization for a decade, but then had been pushed to the side and not allowed to be visible on the front lines, said, now is our turn to have liberation too. And then I've since discovered that maybe it was fictional, and she may have like slept through the riots, but she told such a good story about it and centered the queer people and the queer and trans people of color that were getting written out of the story almost immediately.
Precisely.
And that made me want to be a drag queen, not just as like an indulgence of my own gender, but like as a mission to be visible, to be loud, to stand up for liberation for all people.